Just talk about practice today.
Really good today. Guys really flew around. The older guys and the younger guys. You know, we're letting the younger guys play a lot at the end, which is really good. Really good for their development. Yesterday wasn't bad. It was just, you could tell it had been a couple weeks. So I think we got the rust off, and today they flew around pretty good. It was real productive.
Did you know Will well before he came, and have you talked to him much since he's been here?
Honestly, I'd never met him personally till he got here. So whatever day it was, Saturday, I met him, and we've talked limited at times, just about every day. You know, whether it be about practice or just a couple things in general. I already really enjoy working with him. I'm looking forward to it. So. Come on, I figured you'd be late. You got the playbook? You can't show up late to the meeting and not have the playbook. That's not good. See me after.
What's your impression of Will? I mean, his interaction back in the team a little bit.
Obviously, he knows what he's doing. You can just tell by the way he's putting things together already. He's very obviously seasoned veteran, knows what he's doing. Great energy. I think our kids already are very hanging on the edge of everything he says, and they're very excited. Of course, we're kind of in a weird transition. We're getting ready for a bowl and all that, but still, it's been really good, and I think he's going to be excellent.
Your name's been mentioned for a couple of head coaching jobs. You get to that point in your career where you're ready to start looking?
I don't think, no, not looking. I mean, I think, you know, when teams or offense or whatever has success, those things happen. Sometimes, you know how it is. I mean, anybody can say whatever they want and not even be true at all, but it gets out there. You know, I've always taken the approach, and I fully believe that you got to enjoy where you're at and do really good where you're at. And if you don't, none of that stuff's going to matter. And so I've been really focused. I hadn't missed a day of recruiting. I've been here getting ready for the bowl since we got back from recruiting. And just my outlook on it is do the best job I can with Auburn's offense and with our players and here at Auburn, and all that other stuff will take care of itself.
So did you interview at Tulsa?
I've been on the road recruiting the whole time. Y'all saw a lot of it out in the media. So didn't miss a day.
Just talk about getting Javon out there. What have you seen out of him? Limited, I know, in the first couple of days.
Yeah, you know, it's been good. Tim's had to bring him along slowly because we kind of just get rolling. It's not like we're installing things. So him, he's done a really good job of just kind of in the first part of practice getting some reps with the older guys, helping him along, and then when we put the ball down at the end and play, he's been able to get some carries, and he's done some good things. He scored a touchdown yesterday, but he got robbed. The defensive GA on the defensive sideline said he stepped out at the 2. We didn't have instant replay until we got back in, but he was in. But he did some good things today, too.
Just on the importance of getting him in early and kind of getting a head start on spring practice.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, you know, the guys that come at mid-year, it's big for us because they get the whole spring. I mean, he's going to get an extra, you know, whatever, 8 practices or so. And so I think that's good. It gets him acclimated. It gets him around the guys more than anything. You know, we think he's got a lot of upside. So it's huge. He gets a head start learning the terminology, learning the system, and then actually going and doing it before we even get to March.
When do you guys, excuse me, when do you guys start actually looking at bowl prep on the field?
We've already, obviously, as coaches started looking, and our players have too, looking at Wisconsin film. We've taken these first couple days and really worked more, getting back into just football shape, the fundamentals, throwing and catching, blocking, just getting all that rust knocked off and playing, and trying to just get back in that, you know, playing form. We did that the last 2 days. We'll probably do that a little bit tomorrow. And we subtly introduced some things to our guys today, but didn't really hit it too heavy, and probably do the same tomorrow. But Thursday we'll probably really get locked in and get a little more detail on game planning.
Rhett, you see guys not getting over things, obviously, but being able to go on and do their what they need to do a little better. And yesterday, as Gus said, it was a little rusty.
Talking about what happened, or
yeah,
just because
what happened.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I mean, it's anytime you get out there that hour or two, it kind of takes your mind off things outside of the building, you know. And the younger guys, you know, it's hit them at a different level than it has some of the older guys, just because of the relationships and all that. But you know, it's just time will be the only thing that heals. But yeah, today was a little better than yesterday.
Rhett, working with the young guys during the fall and now, maybe 2 or 3 guys stood out to you that we didn't see this fall that didn't play?
Oh, you know, just today, you know, Myron Burton did some really good things. Was really impressed with some things he did. You know, obviously Javon's here. We're still developing Peyton and Rock. They're doing some really good things. Tony Stevens has stepped up and made some big plays in the last few days. I know he plays now, but still I've noticed a little bit different level of urgency with him. Of course, Sean White gets more reps this time, these couple days too, which is good. And he's done really well. You know, up front we'll continue to develop really our second line of guys up front. Trying to think anybody else that really just stands out. I tell you, after only a couple days, you know, Cameron Petway is someone that we're kind of experimenting a little bit, playing some H-back. He can still be a big back, and I've really been impressed with the way he's transitioning 2 days in. So what that means, I don't know. He's still learning what to do, but he's done a really good job. He's real physical. I think he really enjoys it, and he's been pretty impressive just initially his first few days, so hopefully he'll keep progressing.
Is that a move you just foresee being more of a spring and next fall thing, or maybe could he help with the bowl?
Well, he's redshirting, so we wouldn't burn a kid's red shirt at this point on a bowl. You know, we still got CJ and Brandon and guys that we feel good about, but it's kind of a, but if this is kind of before spring, we can kind of experiment with it and say, okay, in the spring, how do we want to proceed? So we get a, you know, a couple weeks here to decide if we think that's a good permanent move or if it's just, or if he's better off not doing that. But these first 2 days he's done really well for just kind of being thrown to the fire.
Is Tony a guy who could maybe kind of do what's the same kind of role that Sammy does?
You said Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tony's long, he can run. You know, I think he's gotten stronger this year. That's the big thing. If he can just put on some weight in the upper body and be a little bit more physical upper body, you know, he's got all the ability in the world. So, you know, obviously with Sammy moving on, we're losing size and speed, so we're going to need somebody like him to step up.
What is Myron Burton sort of shown you? Does he remind you of anybody?
So far, he's just shown me he's tough. He's a competitor. I mean, you know, when you take a guy who's been on a scout team all year, he's coming back over and we're calling plays, and some of them he ran in fall camp, some of them he's never heard of. So we're kind of helping him out what to do. But whether he does it right or not, now he's made some plays. But he plays hard, he plays physical, he doesn't get tired. I just like his attitude. It's been impressive for 2 days.
Rhett, how much do you talk, or have you talked to Duke about his future and what lies ahead for him in making a decision?
You know, Coach Malzahn's talked to him like he did Sammy, and same thing with Coach Craig and myself, and he's not quite sure what he's going to do yet. You know, Sammy was a little further along in that. He was 100%, and so, you know, and of course Sammy graduated. That had a lot to do with it, so we're real happy for him. But that really hadn't been determined yet.
How much do you try not to maybe be too selfish and going, yeah, just come back, just come back?
Well, look, as a coach, you'd love all those guys. I mean, I wish Greg Robinson and Trey Mason would have come back. At the same time, they were ready. You know, a running back only has so many hits. Trey was ready. Greg obviously was ready. He was the second overall pick. And so you kind of take each case by case. As a coach, if a young man's going to be a first or second round pick, specifically for sure a first, you know, and he's eligible, it's crazy not for him to go. And as much as we hate to lose him, and sometimes that's tough because if you didn't plan for it in recruiting, you know, you may have quicker holes to fill. But that's what's best for him. And it's good for our program. When we have young men being recognized for leaving early, back-to-back years already, you know, hopefully the guys that leave this year, they'll get early draft status too. It's a positive. At the same time, you want to also help educate them that if you're not going to go early, I think last year there was over 90 guys who went out early who didn't even get drafted. That's the worst thing you can do. And so you try to educate them and just make sure they're listening to the right people, because all kinds of people get in your ear and you never know what they're going to say.
You said you can tell when someone's ready. Do you think he could make that jump immediately?
Who?
Duke.
I think there's some things he'd do very well that translate. I think there's some things he'd benefit from staying. But at the end of the day, you know, the way the NFL does it too helps you. You can get feedback for the kids before they have to make that decision, and that's a big positive. So you have some hard information that's not an opinion to work with.
Rhett, one guy you hadn't mentioned yet at all is Dominic Walker. He's a guy redshirted last year. I think he's seen the field yet. So where does he figure into all this?
Yeah, you know, he made big strides. I wouldn't say as much in spring, but in fall, you could tell things were slowing down, and he was feeling more comfortable in what we do. And he's done a great job. Yeah, he stayed on the scout team 2 years. That happens sometimes. We had some guys coming back. We had Sam, and we had Duke, we had Ricardo, we had Quan, we had Melvin. So it was more he wasn't able to crack the 2 deep. So he stayed down there a lot, but he's gotten some work these last few days, and he's made some plays.
Was Duke out of practice today?
No, he's sick.
Have Kozan or Jordan Diamond been able to practice there, or are they going to just totally stay out until the spring comes back?
We're going to be smart with those guys. You know, they're coming along nicely, and Kozan's a little further ahead. They're progressing well. We're optimistic for spring. But at this point, we're not going to take any chances over a couple of practices.
Basically, looking ahead a little bit, Rhett, will there be a full-blown quarterback race in the spring, or will Jeremy go in as the leader, or?
Well, I think anytime there's going to be competition, you got to earn it. And really, you got to earn your job all the time. Jeremy will have a leg up. He's the only one who's played any games. He's actually started a few games. I think that's a big plus for Jeremy. That's a big plus for us. But I'll say this, I think there's a lot of potential with Sean White. We got Jason, someone else coming in early and some things like that. So we'll see how it translates. But I would think he'd have a leg up.
Rhett, for you personally, you were very close in recruiting Jaquel. Just what has the last 2-3 days been for you personally?
It's been tough, like it's been on everybody. I mean, that's a 2 a.m. phone call that you don't want to get. And I'm not even the parent, but when you get that at 2 a.m. and you go through that process, you're like everybody else. Did recruit him, got to know the family real well, and of course, the first thing you do, you think about the family and what they're feeling, and then, just someone that has a lot of promise and it's cut short. It's unfortunate. It's very sad. It's kind of one of those frustrating things because you feel helpless. There's not much you can do to help, you don't think. But other than be here for these kids and try to support the family the best you could. So yeah, obviously it's been very tough.
Brett, going back to Will real quick, can you imagine in your head a day when you guys have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, and what do you think that would look like for you guys?
I mean, that's the goal. So yeah, I can imagine it. That's what we're working towards. That's where we want to be. In our league, if you can get to that point, it's going to give you a chance, but there's still a lot of room for error. But that's what we're working for. Obviously, he has a track record of being in the top 10 just about everywhere he's been. We're hopeful we can continue to progress offensively and continue to get better. That'd be huge.
Brett, a guy like Marcus Davis was a guy that obviously had a big freshman year, made a lot of impacts in two-man drills and stuff like that, but really hasn't done a whole lot and had a whole lot of opportunities this year. Why was that, you think?
Well, you got Sammy, you got Duke, Quan, Ricardo, guys that have just been in it a little longer and maybe, they just get more targets. Marcus is awesome because he's one of those glue guys you got to have on your team. He does a lot of things that goes unnoticed, does a lot of the dirty work, so you love it. Every time his number's called in a big situation when he makes a play. A&M last year, the national championship game down the middle of the field, obviously the Ole Miss big play to take the lead on the touchdown in the end zone. So it takes a special person to not get the ball a lot at receiver, okay, and still play well and play hard and play for the team. And he's that kind of guy. And now he's going to be going into his junior year next year, losing, Quan and Sammy for sure. How's he going to respond and up his game? And I think he's ready for that.
To the bowl itself, a lot is going to be made of the matchup of the running backs and what that is. And Cap had said, somewhat jokingly, that we wish he could play in the Big Ten and go up against some of the teams that Melvin went up against. Do you see something in him these past week and a half or so since his matchup was announced about just what that individual matchup will be of the leading rusher in the country up against him in this game?
I haven't seen anything different. I mean, like I said, it gets boring, but that's Cap. He's steady. So he's been the same. Obviously, we watched, I believe, some LSU film earlier in the year. I've seen him. He's a phenomenal back. Melvin Gordon. He's obviously, his stats and accolades all speak for itself. We think we got a pretty good back in Cap. We led the league in rushing. That's hard to do in this league. And, both those guys are going to get their touches. Everybody knows that. But they won't be the only two that decide the outcome of the game. But I think Cap will be motivated because it's his last time to put on an Auburn uniform.
I was going to ask, with Reese moving on, I guess the only other guy listed at center right now is Xavier. Who do you expect maybe be someone else you guys will put there in the spring at least to kind of push him some?
Yeah, well, Xavier obviously kind of was the backup during the year. We've got a couple other guys that we may look at. Coach Grimes and I are kind of bouncing some things around. Not only guys now, but guys we got coming in that we feel like have a chance to maybe transition well to that position. So it's probably a little too early to give you names, but we feel like we've got some good answers.
Rhett, just from your perspective, and obviously you're not over there, but the defense, which is kind of in an unusual situation right now, what have you seen from those guys going against them?
From the defense?
Right.
Yeah, and we're getting to go more against them right now than we normally would in the season, which is good. Just a sense of urgency, a level of intensity that it's almost like they're pretty excited. And of course, when some things change and tweak, there's always a little bit of excitement at first. But that's one thing I've noticed. They've got a little bit of a of a sense of urgency about them. It's been fun. And there's been really good competition the last 2 days.
Do you think they're kind of feel like they're auditioning for Will standing over there watching?
I don't know. I mean, I hadn't even thought about it. Probably. I mean, I probably would if I was over there. But it's been good. We've competed well and it's been fun. We've gotten better.
Thanks.